Just raise your hand so that we can see. Go ahead for me. If you want, you can still speak on agriculture. If you want. Anything.
I am Marsha Watson from Slington. I am in a mixed feeling. If you caught me, when me cry tears, when me not hear say me party up there. I cry so till. And me have my mother who have cataract on her eyes. She is on Mandeville Clinic. All know our eyes cannot be dealt with because we poor. Maybe if me be rich, he wouldn't look after already. And behind that, me have to wash for her, and I cannot get no water in Slington. It is very stressful. Me have to go people yard and sometimes they make up their face to give me liquor water. So, me tired and me sick and stressed out. Me I tell you, say me stress.
Thank you for sharing, Marsha. I know it has been hard for you. All right, thank you.
Doctor, moderator, opposition leader and team, residents, good evening. Firstly, opposition leader and team, I'm a little bit disappointed in the response in terms of St. Elizabeth and the Western area, in terms of your advocacy on the ground with the Melissa persons, because you're aware that hurricane struck this Western area. Kingston, St. Catherine, Portland, those areas weren't affected. So I thought there should have been a little more focus on the ground in terms of what was happening to the persons. Because it is obvious to me that what has transpired with Melissa and the response of the government is the most incompetent program that I've seen rolled out as a response to an emergency. Incompetence from the beginning. It was fraught with a lot of mistakes, hiccups, and to date, opposition leader, there are hundreds of persons in St. Elizabeth who are yet to receive a benefit. The minister is using social media to spread misinformation. The numbers that they are saying that how many thousands have been receiving benefit, that's not the true case. Up to now, there are persons who have submitted information to the bank or through NIS from 3 months, waiting to be paid, waiting to get a benefit, and they have not gotten it. So it is paperwork and PR instead of what is happening to the life of the people. What I want to ask opposition leader and your team, there are many persons who were evaluated. Their information went in, and when they are checking now, their names are not appearing. And there are many persons who have self-reported because they were not captured. Having self-reported, they were told that they would have been visited. The timeline for that has cut off, and hundreds of persons still have not been included. I'm going to ask you as your team to make representation in respect to these persons who have legitimately made it the timeline in reporting and those who have evaluated but they can't find a name. Make a special representation that some mechanism be in place to review those persons. Secondly, in terms of the parity era, mention was made of Major Anderson, and I think the Member of Parliament went into party last week secretly. The residents weren't aware of his coming, only probably a few zealots. And I saw them making some announcement that they had some discussion with persons in the party. That is not true. A few persons they might have seen. And let me say to you that tomorrow, I have been told that tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, they will be in party for a consultation. Most of the persons in party have not been told because they're doing it just to accommodate those who would be for their view. So I want to put it on record for all the people in party to be aware that tomorrow at Basil, they'll have a consultation.
Emotional damage.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Based on what you have shared, you would like to hear more advocacy on the roofs program for them to open that system back up. So I think we're gonna, yes, we can take one more question and then we're gonna ask.
Houses confirming that they are at the right location, and then mischievously they are removed from that location to another location, suggesting that the person has another house. Secondly, the NIS paying out and whatever they're giving out is being political. The house roof from the soldiers is being political. There's a person that was called and confirmed, the soldier confirmed it was hit the right address. And weeks after, when they didn't put on the roof and the person investigated, they moved it to another individual. And they did it so smart that they went into the land tax listing and moved it to somebody with almost the same name as the person that don't live in Jamaica. Got a house via the death of his mother. And they also put his name on the NIS roll to achieve other things. And so most of the people, they think that when they register with the NIS, they are being sidelined and put on other people from the other parties getting through. And this is facts. This is something investigated and experienced by a lot of people. And another thing, why is it, to Mr. Campbell, I would like to get this out. I haven't got this information. Is it a requirement now for a farmer to have food handlers permit? Why I ask you that question, I am in position on my phone with a person getting information from the NIS to get some fertilizer. The person occupies a piece of land that I'm responsible for. And the information, one of the information, the person has to get a food handler's permit just to get the fertilizer, along with other information. So the farmer that is planting has to get a food handler's permit just to receive the fertilizer. So all these things is being put in the people's way, and it is moving. When they find out that you're a PNP, they move the thing from you completely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Reynolds. So based on what I'm hearing you're saying is that some of the residents are experiencing political victimization. Okay. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Leader of opposition, colleagues. Hello, hi. Good. So I wanted to make a few points. If I could have your attention, please. I am in a similar mood to you, my lady. I am a little bit broken in spirit, listening to the concerns of the people. And the greatest issue I have with the government is that I believe that they are uncaring. in the approach that they are pursuing. And I will give evidence as to why I came to that conclusion. First, we have a problem in Jamaica with predial larceny. That is persons who steal agricultural produce, whether it's crop or livestock. They take what does not belong to them and they try to sell it. To deal with it in relation to livestock, we came up with a system called the National Animal Identification and Traceability System, which is designed to ensure that you can tag the animals, right? So that it makes it harder for somebody to sell an animal if they do not have the tag and the record of the animal. Because the government is not giving any tags to the farmers or not tagging the animals, it is causing normal citizens to be made into criminals. So somebody who legitimately has their cattle, goats or pigs or whatever, are not able to sell them because if they attempt to do so and they do not have the tag for the animal and the police were to intercept them, then they would be charged and treated as if they are the predial larcenist. They are the person that is stealing the animal. In 2023, the government reviewed the penalties. The penalties, it was $250,000 or 3 months in prison. And this same new administration of the same party moved it to $3 million or 3 years in prison. So I want you to understand. You are here and you're just raising your goats, you're raising your cow, you're trying to make a life so you can take care of yourself and your family. The government says they are trying to help you. We agree, put a tag in place. You know, put a system in place to tag the animals so we can trace them. And they moved the penalty from $250,000 or 3 months in prison to $3 million or 3 years in prison. And they don't provide any tax to the farmers who have their animals out there. It is wicked and uncaring. When I did some checks now and I said, let me look and see how much is it for a tag. The first animal is supposed to be tagged free of charge, and then $300 for every animal after that. The government, after the hurricane, went out and raised some money from people who said, all right, our brothers and sisters were affected. We are donating some money so you can go help them. People from Yard and people from abroad donated some money. $1.44 billion. Not million, you know. $1 billion. $1.44 billion. And up to February, the government spent less than 2% of it. 2% means that if it was 100 something that you have, them spend less than 2 out of it. So 98 still left. If they were to spend the 0.44 on some tax, they would be able to tag 1.46 million animals. So I can only come to the conclusion that they don't care. I can't come to any other conclusion. And the only conclusion I can come to is that they do not care. Agriculture suffered significant damage. And remember that I am your neighbor to the west. Remember, I'm your neighbor to the west, you know. So I understand firsthand the devastation that was experienced in these parts. Firsthand. In relation to housing stock, those that were damaged or totally destroyed. In relation to your businesses, your little shop that you would have or any other business that you would have got the same damage that the house would have got because they were constructed the same way. I understand the damage that you would have suffered in relation to electricity, the damage to the schools, the damage to your farms. And so I can stand here and state clearly that we support every single effort to rebuild for the people of Jamaica. Every single effort to rebuild for the people of Jamaica. And whatever we can do from where we stand to accelerate, fast track that process, make it happen quicker, we will do so because we want the people to be restored to the condition they were in and be improved to even better conditions. We're not against that. I am anxious to see people returning to their regular life and their livelihood being restored. Agriculture is one of the main things that we can do to empower people. And I don't have to preach this to you because St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket parish of Jamaica. 1 out of every 4 things that is produced in agriculture is produced in St. Elizabeth. 14 parishes we have, but 1 out of every 4 things that produce in agriculture, 24% of what we produce in agriculture comes from St. Elizabeth. Agriculture employs almost 300,000 people. You have the Minister of Agriculture as your member of parliament. The Minister of Agriculture as your representative. And next door is the Deputy Minister of Agriculture in the parish of St. Elizabeth. Both the minister and the deputy are from the parish of St. Elizabeth. When Beryl passed, the minister said that agriculture suffered $36.2 billion in damage directly. And if you look at a sector-wide thing, it is $60 billion. His numbers I'm giving you now. And that fisheries suffered $5.7 billion in loss. 45% of the fleet, the vessels, damaged. That's the information that he has, you know. How then could it be that he has done so little to help the people of the constituency that he represents and the people of the parish that he is from to get them back on their feet? How comes?
Help.
When you go out to do what you're doing, I know that most people here are hardworking citizens who want an opportunity, and you will make it if you get the opportunity. Had we been in government, we would have put a disaster fund in place so that we can respond to these things and respond in a timely manner. And I made this point during the sectoral debate. We would have ensured that the losses that you suffered, that you would have been able in a transparent way so that nobody could stand up and say that people are benefiting based on the political party that they supported. We would have ensured that people benefit based on the practice of agriculture, the fact that they are registered and bona fide farmers. It is that basis on which we would have used to assist the people. And if we assist you, and you can go back out there, and you can grow your crops and raise your animals, then you could help to restore your own dwelling. You would have been in a position where you're earning your own money so you can help to put back things in order so that your house can be dealt with, your children's education can continue, and your life can go on. So, the critical point that we are making, it is not enough for the Minister of Agriculture to give out a few sachets of seeds and a few bags of fertilizer to the selected few, and the rest of the people suffer. And give out the exact same seeds and fertilizer to everybody so you get a glut in that particular item. And then shortly thereafter, there is scarcity in the same item, because there is little planning that takes place in how we are going to respond to these things. I saw where a farmer in this constituency, I think Flagaman, planting onions, was complaining of the inability a few months ago to sell the onions, that they couldn't get anything for it. Fast forward to last week, I am reading an article in the Observer, and it said the market bag, onions now $500 a pound. Few months ago, berating the fact that there is a glut, can't move the onions. And a few months on, it's now $500 a pound. And when he was complaining, he wanted $250 a pound. It is now twice that. There is no planning. There is no drying of no storage of the agricultural produce so that we can plan appropriately. We know how much of these items we use on an annual basis. The Ministry of Agriculture knows how much Irish potato is used, how much onion is used, how much cabbage is used, how much carrot is used. They have all of that information, But yet still they fail to plan so that we can have a consistent supply throughout the year and that farmers can get adequate compensation for their hard work. Time may be delayed, but time is never denied. Your time will soon come.
Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, so we want to thank Dr. Dayton Campbell for speaking on the agricultural response. And we're now going to have Senator Keisha Anderson